So hello everyone, and thank you for joining us. I'm Victoria Ortiz, and today we will be talking about how Tahoe's regional stewardship campaign has been effective in educating others about how to protect our incredible area. We're going to be explaining a little bit of the history and the need for the campaign, how it works, and where we're going. And we're going to be taking questions at the end. So if you don't mind, when you do, I think most of you have your mics muted, but if you don't mind keeping them muted, that would be appreciated. Feel free to ask questions into the chat if you have some throughout the presentation, and if Crew and I see them, we will make sure to address them then. Otherwise, we'll get to them at the end of the presentation. So we are going to start with a couple little polls. I'm sure that some of you are Zoom experts by now, but we're just going to see if you're here or if your screen is just on. So we're going to start with a very easy poll just to see if people are here. Great, I'm seeing some results already. So that's just a quick little one I'll end the polling here in a second. Thank you, everyone. Yes, like all of you, I'm also not wearing shoes. The beauty of doing this online. We'll share the results here so you can see. And now we will move on to an actual poll that we want to see, which is, have you ever heard of Take Care Tahoe? So I'll give you a second to answer this question. We just want to get a sense for who's familiar with the campaign and who this is completely new for and who isn't sure. Maybe you've heard of this before, but don't really know what it's about, that sort of thing. So I'm going to end the polling here, share the results so you all can see. And that's great, 73% of you have heard of Take Care. So we're going to be talking to an informed audience here. So thank you for joining us. And Drew, do you mind launching the slideshow once again? Oh, I don't know if I showed the results here. There we go. 73% have heard of Take Care Tahoe, 18% have not, and a few have said not sure. So, like I said, I'm Victoria Ortiz. I'm the Community Engagement Manager for the Tahoe Regional Planning Agency, which was the nation's first bi-state environmental planning agency. We lead our region's efforts to protect our spectacular environment while also supporting our communities to prosper economically. Tahoe is a $5 billion annual recreation-based economy, so it's only natural that we would want to support and invest in this initiative that teaches visitors and locals alike how to take care of this place. Next slide, please. Oh, sorry, Crew, of course. Please introduce yourself. I'm so sorry.
Oh, yes. My name is Crew Stover. Happy to be here. I work with the Tahoe Fund. The Tahoe Fund is an environmental nonprofit that is all about leveraging private funds to get public dollars and just to get general environmental improvement projects done around the lake. And we are one of the backbone organizations of Take Care Tahoe.
And fun fact, Crew is also the Take Care Bear, which you will hear about soon. So has anyone seen these overflowing dumpsters in their area, or cigarette butts on the beach, or in the parking lot? It's just a bummer. And you end up seeing in the news right now, we're seeing so much about campfires and smoke. A lot of the fires that have been started have been illegal campfires. We also see issues like dog poop lining trails and bears eating the trash that was left over. So all of these issues are not unique to Tahoe, we know, and that these issues have been happening for decades. The question was, how are we as an area, as Lake Tahoe, going to address it? Next slide, please. Next slide. Thank you. So one reason that it's a little bit more complicated in Tahoe is just our complex jurisdictions. We have 2 different states, 5 different counties, We have multiple landowners on both sides of the lake, and all of these different players had different messages. In fact, 90% of the land area in Tahoe is public land. And because it's not all consistent, there's a lot of checkerboard ownership, everyone had their own signs and often multiple messages. So these many voices dimmed the overall message of stewardship. Next slide, please. And what we found is that the metrics supported this. So for 15 years, TRPA, the Tahoe Regional Planning Agency, has been conducting a public opinion survey. And what they found when asked if people thought that their actions directly or indirectly affected the quality of the lake is that it was really, really low. Especially in the early years, people just didn't see the connection, especially if they lived out of town. And so, for instance, if you were down in El Dorado County and you felt like, hey, I'm quite a bit away of the lake, maybe you didn't notice that like some of the forest health and treatments that happen in the lake have a direct effect to what's going on downstream, or even what's happening to the lake can have an effect on downstream communities. So what a bunch of different organizations realize is that there's a disconnect. And in order to change the behavior, we need different strategies. And so there was this need for a unified marketing strategy to try to encourage responsible recreation while visiting and traveling to Lake Tahoe, and even for people who live there. So, like I mentioned, this was a growing problem. And about 6 years ago, things shifted dramatically when a bunch of private and public organizations came together, recognizing this need, and developed the Take Care Tahoe campaign. So we're going to tell you a little bit more about what that is in a second, but wanted to share what made this work. And the three main takeaways for us so far has been bridging the public and private divide. And this is where the Tahoe Fund was really critical, because they have so many private sector individuals on their board. They were able to bridge that private with the public and bring both stakeholders to the table. And TRPA was able to push from more of a public agency side, especially because it is difficult to say, hey, we're looking at different colors, different fonts, all different things. And a lot of agencies already have their brand set up. So coming together requires a lot of compromise on all sides. With that, the unified approach is the idea that we're able to leverage each other's funding and resources and bring people together. A lot of the visitor centers around Tahoe don't have the same information, and this is a campaign that's a big umbrella that's able to maximize and amplify some of those key messages that a lot of the stakeholders are trying to share. And lastly, it's the sustained leadership and champions. So of course, there's a lot of momentum and energy when you're starting with a campaign like this, but how do you keep it going? It requires champions. And so those are the people who are setting the meetings for all of the partners, who are monitoring the deliverables, who are holding people accountable. And in the beginning, early years, TRPA was doing a lot of that, and now the Tahoe Fund and specifically Crew have been that champion for a while. So thank you, Crew, for doing that.
It is my pleasure. And one thing that we need to make sure that we get out there is that we did not do all of this on our own. We had a magnificent team of outside consultants to come in and really help us brainstorm the whole strategy behind Take Care Tahoe. And one of those huge helps to the program is Nathan LeVar with Brontosaurus Los Angeles. He is also the creator of the Truth campaign. You may remember from the early 2000s, encouraging people to stop smoking cigarettes. So we've had some brilliant minds as a part of the program, but we really landed on a magnificent product. And one of those pieces that we really focused on to come up with this product is this visitor experience cycle. This visitor experience cycle was brought to us by Orca Consultants, who work with Disney and are very focused on all things visitation. And whether you know it or not, these 5 things are something that all of us go through as we plan a trip, whether it is a little day trip, a weekend trip, or a full week-long family adventure. We all go through these phases, and this is really how we look at this visitor experience cycle to strategize positive behavior change around Tahoe. But before we get into that, let's understand what Take Care is in depth more. Take Care Tahoe is a collective impact group of over 60 partners around the Tahoe region. A collective impact group, in the specific definition, is a group of different sectors coming together around a common agenda to solve a specific social problem, with this social problem being stewardship and taking care of our beautiful environment we have here in Tahoe. Now, that is what the collective impact group is. Take Care is unique in the fact that how we solve these issues is all in a fun and friendly way. We aren't here to scold. We aren't here to yell at you. We're here to make you laugh and hopefully get you think about your actions and think about it just enough that it makes you change your behavior. Our objective truly is how do we to build a culture of caretaking in the Tahoe region. How do we do this, you may ask? We go back to those guiding principles about being fun. Remember that picture that Victoria had that showed 20 different signs on the same message board? All of those are in brown and white writing. Our signs are bright colors designed to get your attention, to grab your eyes from a while away, and then we hope to entertain you with some funny headlines. And as I said before, this is really to be a solution. Here is our
Please don't let your smoke wrappers fly into the air. Lock up your trash to protect it from bears. Don't let your cigarette cause a big flare. Everyone, take care.
Hello.
Everyone, take care. Everyone, take care.
So that just shows how doing those little actions like picking up that wrapper can really stop a whole cascade of environmental issues that we face here in Tahoe. And hopefully you'll have that fun song stuck in your head for the rest of the day. So back to that visitor experience cycle. Take Care is truly designed to fit into this experience cycle, and we have developed a range of materials to really get to the visitor during the key pieces of this cycle. So another fact that the Orca consultant shared is that most visitors plan the details of their trip shortly after booking whether that is their plane ticket or their lodging. After they book that trip, they start looking in really in depth to the place they're going. They're getting all excited as they're anticipating what it's like when they get there. So our pieces of Take Care to get to the visitor during this anticipatory phase is really a community piece. For this, we rely heavily on private partners, whether they are businesses or lodging associations. We rely on those members of our community to help get the message out. I will kind of explain how we do that a little bit later, but what we present to those businesses and lodging companies is this research that really people are expected to be contributing to social or environmental issues now. And Take Care is just a great way for those people to get that recognition. So as I mentioned, we want to get our Tahoe information into the hands of the visitor in that anticipatory phase. And we do that using this Welcome to Tahoe document. This document is a PDF that can be easily sent to anyone who books a trip in the Tahoe area. So lodging companies will send this PDF to visitors as soon as they book their confirmation, and it just shows them a few of the cultural norms that we have here in Tahoe that you might not be used to if you're coming from other places, especially drinking Tahoe tap. We have some of the best water in the tap water in the world, and not enough people know about it. Another way that we get this take care, this kind of thinking going on into the visitor during this anticipatory stage is through our Take Care Tahoe website. This website is on the bottom of all of those Welcome to Tahoe PDFs. And this is just a great place for anybody looking to come to Tahoe to check out first of all, how to take care of Tahoe, and then also if they want to plan their trip around what's going on in Tahoe. We have a full events and volunteering page. As you can see, the conference for this is on it. And it's just a great way to showcase the true collaborative nature of the Take Care campaign. Everybody who's a partner is allowed to post their events on it. So it's truly a community bulletin board. Along with that, we have a full map of learning and environmental centers, as well as a blog with success stories from so many different partners around the basin, where if somebody has some exciting news that they wish to share, it's a great place to get that information out to the public. And then last but not least is this How to Take Care page. This allows people who get that Welcome to Tahoe document and they see, oh, be number one at picking up number two. Well, here you can get a whole lot more information about it, and you can get some resources that our partners are very involved with to get you the most accurate information possible. And last but not least, we also have a partners page where all of those various groups who are a part of the collective impact group get to be featured and have their a little bio page on the website. And then after we get that all that information out to the visitor, sooner or later, they're gonna be coming to Tahoe, and that's where we use a whole nother set of strategies to get that, that visitor to take care. And I'll pass it off to Victoria.
Thanks, Drew. So yeah, let's say that you have just driven up, you've been looking forward to this trip to Tahoe for months. You drove 4 hours from the Bay Area and you check into your hotel. What's next? Next slide, please. So once you arrive, you are greeted by these different promotional materials that are at your hotel. So there's these rack cards that are available at over 225 businesses throughout the Lake Tahoe Basin. We also have some of these rack cards and Welcome to Tahoe message, the one that Crew showed before that gets emailed to people before they arrive. That's also included in their guest binders. And then of course, we also have these take care signs around properties. So next slide, please. So let's say you've arrived, you've settled in, And now the kids are all wiggling and wearing their swim floaties, or they've already got their helmet on in the hotel room and are ready to go outside just like everybody else. So you go outside. Next slide. Take Care Tahoe believes in something that's called messaging in the moment. So we have 3,000 signs at key locations that capture those folks who are maybe in the process of doing an action. So for instance, your dog, who's also been sitting in the car for so long, gets out there, and as you're reaching for the mutt mitt, you realize, oh, hey, look, there's a little take care sign that's telling you be number 1 at picking up number 2, or if it's your dog, it's your duty. All these great little like catchy phrases that hopefully instill a proper stewardship behavior. Same thing goes for cigarette butts. We have cigarette little containers that people can dispose of their cigarettes properly right by a sign that would be advertising taking care of your cigarettes. So this messaging in the moment at all of these key locations around the basin, whether it's trailheads, whether it's at a beach, whether it's at a parking lot for trash cans and things like that, we're trying to capture people as they're there. The beauty of this is that this captures everyone. So whether or not you were planning a trip to Tahoe for months or you just came up for the day, you'll see these signs. Next slide, please. So we know that the messages are out there, but the question is, are people absorbing them? And in Tahoe, we like having our data drive our decisions, just like a lot of other places. And what we're seeing is that the metrics are saying yes. We've seen increased growth on all of our channels, so our website, our Facebook, our Instagram. And getting to this point has been a big lift, but there's always more to do. So that said, you know, we've seen a lot of bad news these days, and it's always good to recognize the accomplishments that you get along the way. So, Crew, back to you.
Yes. So over the years, we have had quite a few different initiatives that we have undertaken besides just trying to expand our partner base. We are now expanded to over 60 partners and 15 learning centers around Tahoe. And in summer of 2019, when COVID wasn't a thing, we had over 100+ events on that event and volunteering page, which is usually the #1 visited page on the website. And to date, we have over 3,000 take care signs around Tahoe at key locations like those trailheads that V mentioned. And this past winter, we were able to expand into a mascot. We now have the Take Care Bear that comes out at various sled hill days and other trash cleanups, and is just a great piece of the community and a great engagement piece for kids. Along with the Take Care Bear, in 2020, we also had our first corporate partnership with Rayleigh's Supermarkets, and it has been extremely successful. What we have really learned along the way is always be looking to expand, whether it's new partners, new messages, or new initiatives. Sometimes they fail, but most of the time it seems to really increase the reach of the campaign and the involvement of all partners. So if you remember those pictures of trashed beaches in the beginning, it's no surprise that Lake Tahoe's plastic pollution issues comes primarily from litter. Something that is unique about Tahoe is that there's no wastewater that enters the lake. All the effluent is pushed outside of the basin. So any plastic in Lake Tahoe really comes from an outside source such as litter or atmospheric deposition. And in 2019, microplastics, or 2018, microplastics were found in Lake Tahoe, which raises many concerns due to how clear the water is and how great it is for drinking. This just posed many human health concerns, as well as just general lake clarity and lake health. concerns. And in 2019, thanks to UC Davis, Tahoe Environmental Research Center, the Tahoe Water Suppliers Association, and Raley's supermarkets, they put in a grant application to Nevada Department of Environmental Protection for funding to do a public education piece around microplastics. And this initiative has been underway since last summer and launched in Raley's stores in July 2020. And it's really all about reducing the amount of single-use plastic water bottles that are sold, and while also promoting reusable water bottles through the Drink Tahoe tab. So this whole initiative was kind of two-phased. The first phase is to really show how bad microplastics are for the environment. Plastic is forever. It doesn't break down, it only breaks up into smaller and smaller pieces. So that was the first aspect of the education campaign. And then the second aspect was the actual sale of the world's best water. So thanks to Raley's for being a wonderful partner, but Raley's is now selling Drink Tahoe Tap branded water bottles in some prime retail space in one of their supermarkets. And it has worked out so well that Raley's plans to expand selling these water bottles to over 80 stores in spring of 2021. We really had no idea how any of this Drink Tahoe Tap stuff would work out. We weren't sure how much Raley's would be engaged. But it turns out that these reusable water bottles sell pretty well. And in 1 month, over 300 bottles were sold. And it's just a great partnership where a for-profit company is putting aside promoting profits to really promote something that is making Tahoe a better place. So this partnership has just been so encouraging for what we can do in the future. And we hope to be developing a case study on this partnership in the coming months. Along with new partnerships, we also are all about creating new messages. And last summer, the Tahoe Fires and Fuels team approached Take Care with creating a message to encourage wildfire preparedness. And this is more specific to defensible space and being prepared for evacuations with a to-go bag. But this is another one of those new initiatives that we started out not sure how it was going to go, and we really ended with an amazing product. The house characters just really just connect the dots between fight fire with a plan. Wildfires are unavoidable, being prepared isn't. It's simple, but it gets the message across. And then speaking of new messages.
Right, it's true. Certainly one of the big lessons with Take Care Tahoe is the importance of being adaptable. And I think that's a lesson that we are all getting with COVID, with wildfires, with all sorts of things. When COVID started to impact the region, a lot of the local governments and land management agencies were looking for a regional messaging campaign to educate the public on responsible behaviors. And since Take Care Tahoe was already in place as the unified messaging, stewardship messaging, the messaging quickly pivoted to include public safety. So that's really important. We didn't stop messaging on the stewardship side, but we also included public safety there. So I think what COVID has really shown us is just that the importance of being nimble and reacting to current events. So for instance, on these, we made sure that all of the new characters had face masks and made sure that they were getting those key messages across that the land managers were trying to portray. Next slide, please. And the beauty of having 60 organizations involved is that we're able to leverage different budgets from different organizations and get a much further reach. So for instance, we had billboards at all entrances to Lake Tahoe that were reminding people to wear a mask using this "Everybody wears a mask in Tahoe" slogan. And that was something that I think any one organization would not have been able to afford, but leveraging all of these great partners together makes these things possible. In addition to that, there was also these great yard signs, bilingual yard signs, and now there's thousands of them all across Lake Tahoe in front of businesses, in people's yards, that are reminding passerbys to wear a mask, and again, using that funny, friendly, creative that catches your eye. Next slide. You might be wondering, what's next? Where are we going? Just like a lot of folks right now, there's a huge priority on making sure that these messages are being received by a wide, diverse audience. And so we're working on translating the yard signs and other materials into Spanish and into other languages that represents the visitors and the locals in the Tahoe area. We're also looking at, we have created an activity booklet that includes word searches and crosswords and little coloring characters for kids, because as Crew mentioned, there's a lot of kids are able to influence their parents' behavior. So by targeting kids, it's a way that we're able to reach another audience. The idea is that these activity booklets will be shared with different partners across the area, restaurants and other spots, so that kids are getting this who might not even be living in Lake Tahoe, but just coming to visit for the day. So our goals really are reaching wider audiences, always. It's always a good marketing goal. And we're also streamlining some of the communication processes. We're working with another group, a sustainable recreation working group. And the more collaboration, the more possibility. So who knows where we'll be in a year, but we're heading towards some really great initiatives. And we wanted to give a shout out here to Jill Talladay with Care for the Cape and Islands. She has taken this Take Care idea and incorporated it into her hometown in Cape Cod. So she has these great ambassadors wearing Take Care Tahoe masks. She has a wonderful website that you should go check out. And we just wanted to give her a little shout out and say thank you. We certainly believe that everyone should be taking care everywhere. And right now we're in conversations to reach an agreement with the artists, but before we can share the artwork with others. But we would love to see this messaging expanded across the Sierra Nevada and beyond.
And last but not least, growing a culture of caretaking really can't happen without you. The whole beauty of the Collective Impact Group is the collaborative nature of so many different sectors, giving diverse and unique opinions, and that just really bringing in innovative ideas that are moving Tahoe forward in the right direction. And as Victoria mentioned too, one of those great benefits of having more partners is more resource sharing. A lot of the stuff that we are doing this year could not have been done in years past due to the funding aspects of things. So that resource sharing piece is just huge. And really, we want everybody to take care. So it's for everyone. And here we just want to give a huge shout out to all of our partners. These are some amazing organizations that are making good things happen around Tahoe. And If you go on Take Care Tahoe and you see any of those events in that event page, it's most likely one of these organizations putting it on. So that's just another way that we get the visitor and get those people to get connected to Tahoe through volunteering or coming out to a trash day or the fish festival, something like that. But thank you all very much. It was great getting to present this to you all, and we hope that we can continue this conversation and answer any questions you may have.
Yes, thank you, everybody.
Awesome.
I noticed
Thanks,
that.
you guys.
Thanks, Jenny.
Go
Did you
ahead.
want to start us off with questions?
I do. That's okay. I know there was a couple in the chat, but I just wanted to kind of give a broader context before we dive into those specifics. And just from the Sierra Nevada Alliance's perspective, share a little bit of connectivity with the Take Care program and Tahoe Fund. So Crew actually was a SNAP member serving with the Alliance and with Tahoe Fund when this program was kind of kicking off and creating the website and all that kind of stuff. And definitely we have looked at this as a really great model. And that is why we actually just redid our website to have a similar approach where it's also this like community board and all of our member groups and such are there posting news and events and things of the like. So we got our website model from the Take Care Tahoe Fund model. And really the next step in my mind is to then roll out a similar Take Care campaign for the Sierra. So I just wanted to kind of, I guess, articulate that to everybody, that that's where my vision is. And that's one of the biggest outcomes of this conference. I kind of mentioned that in the welcome session this morning, is that we're really hoping that that can be kind of the next year, really kicking that project off. Of course, we have to work with you guys. We are on the committee and all the things, but really work with you guys more to kind of get the artist agreement moving forward so that we can kind of emulate this and expand it Sierra-wide. But just wanted to kind of make that whole connection piece.
Thanks, Jenny.
Yeah, thank you very much, Jenny. Yeah, we're hoping to get that new MOU all figured out this spring and summer, and then COVID hit and now we are here. But we really want the program to be available to you and across the Sierra. So looking forward to working with you to get that new MOU figured out with Perez.
Well, and honestly, I feel like we're just ready now. So it's okay. Like we have the website and it's like, yeah, the conversation is happening today and tomorrow. And then I feel like a working group will be formed and we can actually start working with you guys more on it. So it's fine.
Perfect
Jenny,
timing then.
Your question dovetails perfectly into Lynn's question, which was how can Sierra Nevada Alliance members become members of Take Care Tahoe?
Right. Yeah, I saw her question and that's why I wanted to ask that and know that if I guess I don't have to answer it for you guys, but I will say that there, just to make that distinction, that most of your guys's members are Tahoe-based organizations, and you don't have to be a member of the Alliance to become a member of Take Care Tahoe Fund. They can talk to you about how that happens. They're sort of two separate kind of things. So.
Yeah, the Take Care Tahoe initiative is really these 60 partners all working together. And so, Kerr, you can correct me if I'm wrong here, but usually what it means is that you're participating in meetings, you're posting different events, and right now a lot of the membership is focused on Tahoe, given the name, but we're still working on how we can expand that out to other areas once we get this agreement in place with the artists.
Yeah, and I think with the Alliance looking to get to work with this new MOU, I think we could really, if the Alliance is kind of the new like Take Care Sierra or something along those lines, all Alliance member groups would already kind of be automatically rolled up into that partner group
right.
for that larger group. And I would also open to talking with you to see if it would fit in with the current Take Care Tahoe initiative. And maybe as we expand, it just becomes a sort of take care. And then there's like even like a take care, like really high up steering committee with groups from all different take care entities, Tahoe, Cape Cod, Sierra, if there's any more in the future.
Right, that sounds awesome.
Definitely. Jill, I see you asked the question, are you considering other single-use plastic besides water bottles, specifically plastic silverware? We are seeing a huge increase due to takeout food. Yes, you're right. You're not alone there. And I mean, plastic's such a huge issue. That's why Crew spent a while talking about the initiative with Rayleigh's and how exciting that is to hopefully limit some of the plastic consumption. Crew, do you want to take this question?
Yeah, it's perfect timing because yesterday we just had a conversation with the head of the Nevada Green Business Program, and we are looking to identify funding opportunities to get to reusable silverware and then also reusable to-go containers branded under Take Care that we could pilot hopefully in South Lake Tahoe. Because that is something we've really been seeing is there's just so much to go, so many to-go orders, so much extra waste associated with that. And especially with our bear issues, it's just been, you know, it's tough to see just a ton of to-go litter around the bear boxes just because people don't want to touch them with COVID and stuff. But yeah, we are looking at that. It's just likely not going to be a short-term answer for us right now.
Thank you for those questions, everyone. Does anyone else have other questions? You can also unmute yourself and ask. Yes, Lynn, thank you for that question. So you can always reach out to info, well, either of us, but also info@takecaretahoe.org. And that, sorry, to reiterate, Lynn's question was, is there a contact if we have follow-up questions? You're welcome to contact any of us. Crew just put his contact in there. I'll put mine on there as well. Or info@takecaretahoe.org. All right. Any other questions here? Well, thank you all so much for listening to the presentation, for taking care of Tahoe and elsewhere with us. And we really appreciate your time. I know it's busy, and this is just a pleasure to get to see you and meet you virtually. Crew, any last words?
Not really, just thank you. Just appreciate being here and getting to share. Take care.
Yes, thank you to the Sierra Nevada Alliance for hosting us. This is a great conference, great platform. We appreciate the opportunity to share. So we'll leave you with that everyone take care jingle in your head and a little bit of extra time before the next session. Thank you.
Thanks, you guys.
Thank you. Check out takecarecapecod.org. Thanks, you guys.
Thank you.